Well, what a time to be alive. I think my clutch sleeve may have just given out. Could be the master cylinder. Gonna have to get it towed home. I can't get it in gear. Pretty scary stuff. So basically we'll have another video coming out of why your clutch would do that. It's gonna sink down in a second. But yeah, that is not normal, not what you want at all. So I don't know. I'm going to assume there's some air getting in the lines. Everything up top looks good. The clutch sleeve and master cylinder are all new, but I might have either scraped a line, or B, the clutch sleeve went bad for some reason. The copper gasket failed, so I don't know. We're going to go take a look at that as soon as we get a tow truck here and get it home. Well, getting her loaded up, about ready to head home. But we get to take the 4C, so that's pretty fun. Well, she's all loaded up. Time to hop in the 4C. Gotta love it. Well, we're in here now. We got a little Del Sol in the middle of us, just at a random. So that was pretty cool. Good little cruise. My truck on the flatbed, Del Sol in the 4C. All right, let's see this dude's apex. See if he's got a good racing line. All right. He's hugging the corner. I'm liking it. Making me look stealthy. That was a good apex. And we are home. I'm gonna get this thing down. I'm gonna get a jack under it and see what's going on. All right, so we're at the truck now. Just got it lifted up, and we're gonna try to see why I'm having issues. All right, good to hit it. When you let off, nope. It just stays. Yep. Interesting. Yeah, we got no fluid coming out down here, so it's probably the reservoir. I was checking my clutch sleeve, and it's looking like there's no fluid coming out of it. I wanted to assume it's not that. I'm assuming it's my master cylinder, and we're gonna plug this in right now and see if it works. So to start, it's gonna get a little messy, so you're gonna want to pan at the bottom of your truck where this fluid's gonna go. I am going to, we're gonna have to bench bleed it. So we're going to disconnect this line here, disconnect the two, I think they're 12mm bolts down there. I'm gonna hurry through this because I gotta get down to the beach, and there is a nut on the inside of the pedal, by the pedal, that we have to undo. It's gonna be like a little 12mm or something, or a little pin. So I'll show you when we get there. So it's a little tricky to see, but right up in here, there's that little pin right there. We got to remove this pin, push this out, and pull the pin, and this is disconnected. Literally that simple. Then everything is outside. All right, so we got our two 12mm nuts coming right off. Very, very simple. And once we get these off, I'm going to take a 10mm and break that line free and drain this fluid. So now what we got to do is take our new master cylinder. I'm not too sure why this one had failed, but this is all real loose. As to this one is very stiff, so I don't know. Something just failed inside there, I'm sure. But we're going to take this now and literally just as simply place it back on the truck. It was pretty tricky to get a good clip of it, but right on the clutch pedal, we just got that pin back in place. We got the new master cylinder in place. We just got to go and bleed it at the clutch sleeve. Now when I press my clutch pedal, it does come all the way back up without hesitation like it should. So all I had done just this moment was adjust the little prong that comes into the pedal. I actually got the spare piece hanging out right here off the old one. I had just adjusted this out about a quarter inch on the new one because I hadn't done that yet. But I mean, it seemed like it was a master cylinder issue, and we replaced it, and it is all set to go. So that's how to install your master cylinder, I guess. I mean, that's pretty strange. Well, this is always pretty to come home to. Woke up the next morning and leaking fuel. Good thing I got a spare tank. Worst comes to worst, if I got to pull that today and change them out, I will. But that is a bummer, man. All right, well, first things first, to move the truck, we got to get the truck up a little bit higher. I'm going to pull this back wheel off and probably just going to pull the tank just to inspect it that way. I don't see anything up here. I was hoping maybe it would have been a filler neck, but it's not really looking all that bad. And I don't know. I'd be surprised if it's that tank. That tank is like 2 years old. So in my books, it's a pretty new tank. So we'll figure it out. All right, I think I got the truck up high enough at a comfortable setting. I'm gonna pull this back wheel off so I can just lay under here better, and we're going to just start disconnecting that tank. So as you can see now, we've gotten our wheel off. Real windy right now. And like I said, that fuel is just so oily. But regardless, I'm going to pull down the bolts that hold in the shield. So right down there's two 14mm and there's two 14mm in the front. We're going to get this protective plate off and see if we see a leak right away. If not, we're going to drop the tank next. Look how crazy this is. A spot weld failed on the bottom of the tank. There's another, you can see spot welds. There's one right there where it's leaking. And there's another spot weld. They go all the way down the center. Crazy. Here is our new fuel tank. It doesn't look so promising though, because, oh, actually it does. Those are actual bolts. I thought they were all broken in there. Probably won't want to come out too easy. They've been in there for 30 years, but PV blaster the hell out of them. See what happens. And same with that side. We look pretty good. It is a factory fuel tank. A lot of stuff in here. I wouldn't recommend cleaning things out with water by any means, but a quick spray and all that wouldn't be too bad, I don't think. And then I'll take it out and dry it off, make sure it's completely dry, splash some gas in here, dump it into a container, and then fill it up with gas and see what happens. So my only concern with this new tank so far, yeah, it's filled up with water right now, it's fine. I'm gonna empty that out and grab a shot vac and vacuum out any puddles and then let it air dry for a day. But I'm a little worried about this line. We have a broken line up here. I don't know if it's just a breather tube. I'm also hoping it's not some sort of like fuel return line either. So I don't know. We'll figure that out when we get there. All right, so I'm back down here underneath the truck and we've just pulled the shield off, found the leak. And so to start, I'm going to undo my hoses down here and whatever I can get to from the top of the fuel tank. That way when I drop it down, I'm not yanking on things that shouldn't be pulled on. So we've gotten the filler neck off, and this hose right here is some sort of breather tube, I'm sure. So this goes to, if we're looking at it, the left side, the one with the hose still attached. I have just some extra fitting there to make it reach. And then the one on the right is also, I think, just a tank breather. So that goes to the top of the tank. So on the other one, it's a little busted, but if I just put a hose there, there's no fluid going through it, we'll be fine. So that is good news to me. The last thing I gotta do is disconnect the actual lines for the fuel from the sending unit. So this one on the left goes to the left, the one on the right stays and goes on the right. So I'm gonna have to lower the tank down a bit, get a jack under here, break the bolts free, and disconnect the hoses for the sending unit. And I don't know how much I'll get on camera because there's gonna be fuel probably going everywhere. So I want to try to prevent that and get this out. All right, under here now. So we have 3 bolts on this side. One is a bolted nut. I'm sure it was, sure it wasn't originally, but that's what I changed it to. And then I think we have 2 down there. I'm gonna fit a jack under here and then slowly release pressure to get this thing down. So just as an example, I've gotten a board of wood on the jack. I'm gonna have someone lower the jack while I hold the tank and make sure it just stays in place. It's 15 gallons of fuel right now though, so just want to take my time. So to be pretty fair, actually using a regular jack and a board of wood went very well, especially for the tank being full, so no excuses there. What we gotta do next is, well, actually one thing to note is there's a plate that sits on, so your tank would essentially, when we go to put it on, we'll go up on that lip and then we can just lift up the back to get it up there. It's the same thing to get it down, so not too bad. I just gotta pull it out of here real slowly. Hopefully no sparking, you know, that's pretty important. And once we get it out of here, we can drain it into some fuel cans I grabbed. Full success. She's out now. All drained up already. So, that is exciting. Time to prep the new tank and get it in. Well, here is our new tank. I already poured the fuel that I just poured into there and there. And now all I gotta do is take these, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws off of there for the sending unit, place it on here the same way, and tighten it back down. So just one thing to watch out for is make sure you put an O-ring around the tank, make sure everything is sitting where it should, and I think I'm all set to place this down now. One thing I did want to say that is very nice is there is no oil in my fuel. It was just the fuel, unfortunately, eating some tar. But that is a good thing to know, so we are safe. All right, she is all together now. So we are going to slide that in there, lift up the front, put it up in there, and then lift up the back and bolt it up. Okay, guys, so this is pretty straightforward. It's just redoing the steps you had done in reverse. But just for video purposes, we got it back up here, and I'm going to connect the lines, make sure the fuel The bolts for the fuel tank are tight, and we're gonna throw the wheel on and see what happens. See if it starts up like it should. I mean, it should, no problem. All right, we are ready for the wheel to go back on. Don't forget that little 4x4 exclusive gas tank protection shield that you can tell that has some scrapes on it, but that other fuel tank just failed, faulty, so that is pretty sad. But we're gonna throw the wheel on, get this thing on the ground, and start it up. Give it a start. And it'll die. I gotta, oh no, it might not. I don't have my warm-up enrichments tuned into the truck yet. Look at that, she runs. Beautiful, wonderful. Nice. I'm gonna go check for fuel leaks while it's running. And if there are none, well, unfortunately that was something I didn't even have planned for the truck. So, I still got a little bit of stuff I wanna do. But as long as there's no fuel leaking, we're in good hands. So yeah, so far everything is looking so good. Wonderful. Well, got our wheel torqued. It's back on the truck. And I think for video purposes, we're going to move along to reupholstering the back of the seat in the purple truck. All right, guys, so one quick thing I'm going to do, I'm not going to go too in depth, but I'm going to try to clean this up a little bit. Just tuck this blue wire under the carpet, make a slit here so it can come out and ground. My seat sits further back typically. Just run this red wire like behind the positive cable. I mean, try to tuck this up a little bit. There's not much I can do with that giant red wire. That is probably going to be pretty visible, but everything else is kind of tucked up nice and clean. It's just, honestly, it's probably just that ground that makes it look so messy, but we're just going to be cleaning that up a little bit. So honestly, this looks so much better. My seat will sit way further back, obviously. It'll sit probably about there, maybe a little further, but other than that, I mean, now this looks so much better. It really does. I think the next thing I'm going to do is in the future, I'm going to cut that wire shorter. That way it sits in the amp more. And I know everybody's been saying it. I just don't have any zero gauge right now. But I do need to run a second zero gauge wire for my ground. But it's okay for right now. It's been completely fine. So I know I need to do it. I just don't have a second zero gauge at the moment. But honestly, just want to clean this up a little bit. And we'll move on to the next thing, which is hopefully going to be maybe reducing this yellow with some material I have laid out on the black truck right now. It's the same material I used for this gauge pod. It's just this it's just black pleather, I think, or like a vinyl material. And if I can run that behind the seat, and as long as it's not making noise when the bass is hitting, it would look way better than the yellow. Really, really clean the truck up. Okay, so I've gotten this all cut up. Got a couple pieces I had to cut off of it, and I don't know, I think it's going to look pretty sick once it's done. To be, really honest, I feel like the truck has needed this. So I have a couple different ways of running it. I could run it behind this metal screen, but the longer I sit here, I might be able to get away with tucking it up in here and just going below that one big bar. And then I'll tuck it back in down here somehow. So I don't know. All a work in progress. It's going to be a little tricky for sure, but I'll see what I can make out of it. Okay, so this is actually going to be so easy, I think. So right now I have it just behind the cage. You can't tuck it in between the cage and the bar. I thought these would be separate. So what we'll do is take this. We're going to unfold it in here, and you can just push this foam down in. This could go for anybody with a bench seat and a hard body. That is such a better look. Hey, what's up, guys? So I just put it all together, and check this out. That is sick. It's a little more wrinkly than I was hoping. But all in all, the sub setup is really starting to come together now. Yeah, that's hype. I'm so ecstatic with the way that came out. I mean, just look at that. As long as it doesn't make any noise when the subs hit. I mean, it's pretty well on there, and I think the fabric is all folded up, so I can try to tuck it a little bit more another time. I mean, it's tucked really well. It looks really well done. Obviously you have some gaps, but it's a 30-year-old pickup truck bench seat, so I'm excited for things like IFO and stuff. I mean, this is so sick. I'm so happy with that. Just put the seat back, good to go, all clean. And then like I said, it's those little details, but now when I'm at a show, it's not embarrassing to put my seat down because it looks sick. It looks good now. So that's huge. I'm hyped. Well, I guess the last step right now is to go for a drive and just make sure there's no unnecessary noises. Look at how much cleaner that is. There's just that one red wire that sticks out, and I do want to do something with those speaker wires. Like I said, maybe I'll just tape them up for now. I don't know. Find some way to tuck them a little bit. But wow, that is just clean. Well, I was having some issues with the purple truck, but we are back on the road. I'm just gonna throw the clutch master cylinder in with the fuel tank video, just so you guys can all kind of see how everything's been going with the truck lately. Those are 2 incidences I've had that have kind of set me back a little bit. But now we're out cruising around. Wanted to show you guys. Thank you so much for checking out today's video. And if you want to see some more Minitruck content, you know what to do. Go like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one.